Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the block swappers in the floor, the wall, and the ceiling. Before I show you how to build them, let me go through a quick demonstration of each of them. They all do the same thing, but obviously one's on the floor, one's on the wall, one's on the ceiling. So as you can see, if I push this button, this block will be retracted and will be replaced by this polished andesite block, but this will most likely be used for either lighting on one of these or some sort of combination lock. And as you can see, if I push it again, it switches back to the sandstone. Now if I come over to the second one, if I push this button, as you can see, pops out of the wall, changes the block. If I push it again, it changes back again. And finally, onto the third one, the ceiling one. Push the button. Whoops, I fell. As you can see, it swaps out. Push it again, and it swaps back. Really quick, another great thing about each of these builds is that, as you can see, if I supply it with a 1-tick pulse, it won't activate at all, but it can also, if you put it on a 2-tick pulse, it will still fully function, and that is, as you can tell, very, very fast. And so, like I said, all three of these are 1-tick pulse proof. They won't break if a 1-tick pulse goes into them, and they also have a max speed of 2-tick pulse, so if you put in a 2-tick pulse it won't break either. It will work completely, and as you can see, it is very fast. But with that, let's get on to the first block swapper. For the floor block swapper, you'll need the following materials. I'm using a button to activate it, 3 sticky pistons, 7 redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, and whatever building blocks you're using. Now let's get on to building it. The redstone for this first build will take up a 5 by 3 by 2 area. That is a 5 in width, 3 in length, and then 2 in the depth in the ground. Also for this build, the block that is currently showing or is extended will be in the very back in the middle, and it will be on the third block up, so 1 block above all the redstone. This makes it so that you can have a flush floor like this, like I had over there, and none of the redstone will show. We can start with our piston layout, and so to do this, just place a sticky piston facing upward right in the middle on the back, and then build up a block, place 1 sticky piston here, and the same thing on this right side over here. We can then place 3 blocks, 1 in front of this piston with a gap in between, 1 slanted down from this piston, and 1 slanted down from this piston. Then on the side facing the piston on all 3, we will be placing our redstone torches just like that. We can then fly back to the front, place 3 redstone dust on each side just like this, and then 1 redstone dust in the middle. This middle redstone dust is actually optional for this build, and it is just for how I had the build earlier like this, because I had my button right here and that's what activated it. But what we can do is fill in the floor just like this, and if we press this button, this block that we had extended should get pulled away by one of our pistons, and then we can place the other block we want in there, and then if we push the button, we should see that it swaps every time we push the button. Like I said though, this top redstone is optional, and so if I break this, place a button here, as you can see, it will work just the same like that. For the wall block converter, you'll need the following materials. A button, that's what I'm using to activate it, you can use whatever you want, 3 sticky pistons, 8 redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, and whatever building blocks you're using. Now let's get on to building it. For this build you will need a 5 by 4 by 3 area, that's 5 in width, 4 in length, and then 3 in the depth in the ground. Additionally, the block that is extended or is currently showing will be actually where this blue line is in front of the redstone on the third block up, but in the middle. We can then start by placing our piston layout, and so we want to build up 3. That's where our piston that pushes this block out will be, and then on the sides, just like before on the first build. Just like that. We can then, on these 2 pistons, place a block right here, and on this piston, leave a gap in between this. We can then place 3 redstone torches, 2 on these blocks and then 1 on the side of this block, so all of these pistons should be powered. We can then come back here, build down 1 block, over 2, and then over 1 like this, so that the redstone trails into it like this, and then the same on this side over here. And now we are actually done with this block swapper, so if you place your input here or run it in, as you can see, if you push it the first time, it will retract this, and then you can place your second block that you want extended here, and then as you can see when I push it, they will swap between them, and then your wall that it can be flush with is right here. For the ceiling block swapper, you'll need the following materials. An input source, I'm using a button, 3 sticky pistons, 8 redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, and whatever building blocks you're using. Now let's get on to the build. For this build, you'll need a 5x4x3 area that's 5 in width, 4 in length, and then 3 in depth in the ground. Although these are the dimensions for the purposes because it's on the ceiling, I'm actually going to build up so you can actually see it later on. So I'm going to make my ceiling right here and then build it, but the redstone does use those dimensions. So for the block swapper, the block that is being swapped is this one right here in the very front, in this front row in the middle. And so to start out with our piston layout, we can build up 1 and then place our piston facing down like that. We can then place our other 2 sticky pistons on the side just like this. After we have our piston layout, we can come to the back and place 3 blocks here, 2 right next to these pistons, and then leave a 1 block gap in between the block and this piston. We can then place 3 redstone torches, 1 on the side of this block and then 2 on top of those blocks there. We can then build out blocks like this, so it's like a little arrow, and then down 1 on each side, and then cover all of this with redstone dust here, like that. After you get all the redstone placed in, if you come to the back and place a button here, this specific design, more than the other 2, if you see right here, I need to put the blocks in actually. You put your blocks in like this, you can press the button, then it will switch out, and then you can place your second block here, but as you can see right here, it swaps. If I push it again though, it doesn't swap, but both the blocks come out like this. Now one thing to note is, this build right here, if I come over to the one I showed at the beginning of this video, if I break this block right here, that was what hooked it up to my other button. This is the exact same thing, and if I put the button here, as you can see, it will work completely. So this is just a little bit of a bug because block swapper mechanics are just buggy in general, and so what you can do to fix this is just build out a block and put redstone on it, and then keep trying until it works. And so you have to try it a couple times because as you can see it'll work, but then it won't work. And so just keep building out a block like this. And see, now it's swapped there. And it's swapped back, so now it's working. So like I said, you'll just have to experiment a little bit here. And that's just the way the game is. It's just buggy in general. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and leave a like down below. I make videos just like this one every single Friday. And I'll see you in the next one.